Hey guys, BetterStrategy here. I'm just going to go over my opener real quick. This is my makeup bot lab before entering the sea from Beach Sea. The reason we play this opener is it allows us to build safe eco on land, and also we can't adapt to leaks while we still have a lab, although it puts us in a precarious situation when all that's going on. So it's kind of like a just like an alternate spin on entering for Long Beach, and I think it makes you more resilient, but it
Battle
does
started.
have some sacrifices about entering late. So the way we're going to open is we're going to take the mechs, the two mechs is closest to us, preferably the one the commander's already facing the direction of, and then we're going to make two solars real, just like without the commander having to turn very much. And we're going to put a lab right on the corner of the build power circle of the commander. Walk over here. After this, we're going to make the another max, and then we're going to make two wins. These two wins we're going to use to pay for our transport and scout. So we're going to say scout and light to this guy. And while that is being built, we can throw that in, and we can also go ahead and say grave robber, 3 workers, trasher, grunt, grave rocker, 3 more workers, trasher, grunt, like that. When this grave robber is available, let's go ahead and put our energy into that. So he should come out, run up, and start eating trees over there. And our commander still has a little energy in the bank, which means everything is going well. We are e-stalling just a little bit here. Usually in a real game, you're going to get some overflow from the team, so it won't be as bad. These 2 wins we're building also to let our
Low
energy
power.
bank fill up. And these, we will pay our air player with these. But we do want to get out this next worker here, and we want to spend all of the rest of our energy in the bank on this worker. And then once this energy is low like that, we'll go ahead and start walking. We've almost got the worker done. And these can go to the air player. We would share these to the air player now. This guy comes out here. I turned the lab off of factory guard, and then we just tell the lab to guard itself. And now the workers are going to come out and immediately start boosting the lab. Commander is still walking on his way collecting mechs as he should. And so this anti-air is going to come out here, and it's in a spot that a lot of times the enemy air scout shows up at about this time, so we might hang out a little bit here loitering to shoot down that scout, and sometimes the scout just doesn't come. That's fine. So let me just
Battle
so
pause.
at this point here, we're gonna get a transport from our air player, and I like to just send this grunt right to the island to snipe some anti-air and stuff.
Battle resumed.
Right, so we'll have a scout coming from the air player. We might want to route it something like this so that it doesn't go where the commander is going to be walking, but we can get a peep. We could also, if we really want to keep the scout alive, do something like that. This transport comes over here, picks up this guy, and we're going to unload him on the island. Unload him on the island, and I like to go ahead and give a move command too. And now, when this resbot comes out, he's going to eat these the rocks for us, and these guys are now going. We're going to start the sea lab, and we still have a good amount of build power here making these bots. If we think we can take island and want to move a con over, we'll throw in an extra con at the an extra con before these guys. But at this point here, these guys, I like to have them make my blueprint. They are going to spam eco for us. Got to make it face the right direction here. And I like them to just spam eco to their heart's content. Usually by the time I'm teching up, this one here is done. So these guys are spamming eco. This guy might go to the island. If I think I can take the island, I might just go ahead and drop him there. Depends on the skill level of the other player, but something like that. This thing here might go to protect that. And when this lab is done, we're going to tell it to make a con, a herring, 2 frigates, a death cavalry, and a destroyer, and then up to 5 frigates. And I put that on repeat, and I like these on repeat, including the con ships, because that gives me a little resilience. And then once we're kind of low on metal, got enough energy, have this resbot
You are
eat,
wasting energy.
have the resbot eat the lab, and the resbot eat the 2 solars, and then he can go back to eating that. And we are on. That's the opener. We are taking the island here. Maybe Sometimes the island is kind of contested. That's its own battle. But we come over here. We're taking the island. Maybe we have the comm. He's still working his way up. It's 425. We're really pumping out units now because we're eating this lab. The moment this lab eats, we just get that metal donation from that lab, and we are putting that into boats. So this lab's gone. We're making frigates from the reclaim of the solar panels. And we have this to protect against that nasty pawn drop that sometimes happens where the enemy player just flies the pawn over and your team's not ready. It drops here. Well, we got something waiting for him. And if he drops a pawn, you know, you can support a pawn plus a resbot will, this grunt plus a resbot will beat a pawn or whatever, as long as you're microing it, and the resbot can just repair the grunt while they fight. When this guy lands over here, obviously we're gonna make the 2 mexes, and then we might do this if we worried about a pawn drop right away, or this if we think it's safe but we want to make an anti-commander net. This guy here is gonna be just chilling. This is a little AA support. We can even take the second one and bring it over here too for if they're, you know, gonna do a heavy transport. Now they could, the comm can show up here, and if the comm shows up and you see that the comm's walking, we don't have enough to stop the comm. We can take these guys and pull them back out, but a lot of times we are creating we're creating a lot of pressure here. And so with our boats and our commander up here, we were usually fighting by now. Usually some sort of fighting has happened a little before now. So put that guy on reclaim mode. Usually fighting, they might even be contesting this mech, but usually kind of some sort of fighting's happening. But we have our commander here to support our fleet, which is powerful. We have our destroyer, which can handle some subs. If you see a sub, you might have to adapt with your destroyer to hunt it down. But that's pretty much the opener. When our T2 shows up, usually that's a little later, so we'll just mimic that in the game. So we're fighting with our boats. We got our destroyer up here. Maybe he's hunting a sub, maybe he's not. We might still have a scout. If the scout's still alive, I like the scout to go on some sort of pattern where it's gonna keep an eye on the other stuff where there's not so much action, so we can maybe see what's going on over there where the action isn't so intense. This spot should have been chilling there. This guy here should be kind of over here, but we might be fighting, and the comm after this mech, he should still be kind of working, either supporting repairing the ships, or maybe this mech you build a urchin, a little torpedo launcher, and then a radar, a little forward radar with that as protection. Yeah, sometimes that'll get killed by boats. These aren't that strong, but it's pretty, it has its value. It can protect this and make this mech something. It gives you like a little fallback point, but it's not much of a fallback point. Anyways, like it's 7:30. We have 6 frigates, a destroyer, 2 herrings. That's pretty nice in case like some light shuriken show up. You're pretty good. This guy's building the island. Maybe if we have the island, and we've got our T2. Let's say we get our T2. This is what we do. T2 con comes in to upgrade our mexes here. Like usually the techer gives it to you. It's upgrading mexes. I just select all of my bots, all 6 of them, and put them on support mode for this T2 con. So now this is going to turbo upgrade your eco for phase 2, where you go into tier 2, but basically we get this going. This is going to make things happen real quick for upgrading that. And we have 2 of these, so we could just, before we leave, have these guys make a land nano, because we don't really need it to be in the sea. I'd prefer it to be on land. Make a little land nano here. These guys can even help assist that land nano, and these guys can go on their way. That's an instant little boost here. But now we have a ton of build power here. These guys are, what is it, 185. So this is a nano. That's more than a nano. So we have more than 2 nanos worth of build power following this guy, which is very valuable when we're teching. So these mexes are just gonna happen real quick, and we're still able to make our boats. We might stop making boats while we're teching, and if we're not fight, like either we've killed our opponent by now, or we're in a drawn out fight, we might actually just stop making boats. We might be reclaiming enemy ships or whatever, or trying to walk our comm in and doing a comm bomb. But what's important is that we've got our boats. We've got a strong position here.
You are wasting
We've got
energy.
good radar. We're gonna try that. Sometimes I'll walk my commander over here and make a torpedo launcher right over there on this spot here. And this, if you can build a torpedo launcher here, it can deny both mexes, but usually you can't. But if you're against a newer player, you can. And sometimes you'll do some maneuvers like take the boats and go like this. These rocks are really tricky, and if you're on a defensive position, it's sometimes really hard to fight with these rocks. Your boats can get stuck and kind of hurt you. So yeah, there's that's kind of Navy. Maybe we dive if we have an advantage. But yeah, that was just mainly about the opener. I've used this opener against some top players, and it does work. It's not a bad opener. And yeah, you see these are going pretty good. We've got metal starting to build up. Assuming we weren't forced to keep making boats, we probably were still making boats, so we can kind of keep making boats here while slowly upgrading, or you can stop making boats to turbo upgrade. But at some point we're going to get to that point where we want a turbo upgrade. So let's follow the next phase of this. So assuming we're still in a fight, we still got to watch our fleet up here, and I like to throw down 3 nanos, throw down a T2 shipyard. Actually, if you notice, we are running low on E, so I'll do 3 nanos, like 6 titles, and then yeah, get some titles going, because we don't, as you see, even though we have these wins, it's not enough. This guy here, I actually can take him, and I have another blueprint here that I'll do, so he'll come out here, make a fusion, make the exact amount of converters to do that. And all this eco is safe from the opponent, so the opponent cannot attack this from the beach. So that's the nice thing about this. We're not, if we lose here, we don't lose everything, and we can still be a player in the game. But we're upgrading here. I like to throw out the advanced con ship, and then a couple of these engineers, like at least 5 advanced con and 5, and then I'll upgrade my mexes. Maybe we can go here, depends on how this fight is going. We might be making more combat boats, who knows. But we'll go ahead and get this going here. Are these guys supporting the lab? Yeah, they are. So now this guy's going. I like to go ahead and grab these boats and send them on their way. Get these mexes up. Sometimes we can upgrade the mexes real aggressively while we're doing the rest of this stuff. And these guys are making a fusion, because they'll probably need that later. But they're not spending the metal that fast. They're kind of doing an okay job. They're not spending the metal so fast that we're super poor. We're losing what is it? Losing 19, 28, 31 metal per second as we're doing this. There's a little bit of an e-stall situation because of we are going on wind eco, so we're always subjective to losing that. If you e-stall, you can throw down titles to like stopgap. After those, I like to get a jamming ship really quick. Jamming ships are really important. Okay, now the energy's kind of under control, so we'll go ahead and send those. Yeah, you can like throw titles down instantly to recover your eco if you're having problems. I like to have 1 jammer ship there, the very front. I like to have another jammer ship here with the sub. That way when the sub goes into cove, if we've won C, they don't shoot it as easily. Having the jammer with that really helps. Yeah, so there's this. It's 13 minutes in. Let's just see how our eco's looking at 13 minutes in, roughly. And yeah, we might have had to make more boats. We also might have won a fight by now. Who knows? A real game, we might be ahead. Like, a lot of times my eco is actually ahead in a real game compared to this, because we get such a boost. But yeah, there we go. Everything's nice and in order. We're starting to make fusion and converters, so we got a good energy balance. And anytime you need more build power while you have a T2 lab, I just make these workers. Pathfinders are as cost efficient as actual nanos, so I just go ahead and spam a couple of the Pathfinders. Spam a couple Pathfinders to get your build power growing. And right now we are at 77 metal per second. Another thing is sometimes if we have island, we don't always have island. So if we don't have island, we definitely do this little fusion converter spam. But if we do have the island, I like to pretty much instantly fly this worker over to the island to upgrade the mexes. It just kind of depends. So if we have the island, maybe before this fusion, we would fly that over. This worker, I go ahead and get him starting making a nano. That way when the other guy gets there, he's ready to get started on work. Like pick this guy up, drop him off. Actually, if you're quick, you can go ahead and have this guy area mechs before it picks up, and now we don't have to micro it so bad. So I before it picked it up, I threw an area mechs command down.
You are wasting energy.
So because of the little area mechs command, this guy's gonna land and get right to work. And this guy also, I told him to assist that. So this guy's gonna come in, he's gonna land, he's gonna get to work, and this guy's gonna support him. Very efficient. And over here, we might get another T2 con. So this is just more macro stuff. So assuming we're not under a ton of pressure, we get another con from the air player. We say we ask the air player for a T2 con. I like to keep one oasis back home, one to protect the island from nukes, and one to go with the fleet for vision and the other valuable stuff it provides. And so let's just hit pause
Battle
again.
Paused.
One arm, 8, some core. All right, so like let's say now we're at this phase. We can actually have this guy here, you know, make some sort of eco like this, you know. It's weird. Something happened with my blueprints. Well, that's okay. It shouldn't have done that, but something's weird's happening, so I'm not going to worry about that in the middle of this tutorial. But you get this guy over here. I like to throw down one flak. I like to throw down another support here. And maybe we want to like really shore this defense up. We can even throw a wall like that. That'll really make this hard for salamanders to get through. Very cost-effective way of protecting that island. So just a flak, a wall, pit bull, and that looks good. Fleet, if we need to make boats, battleships are really good. But yeah, this now we got a nice little setting here. These guys can support this guy. So this is like super greed. We probably would just like the other way of doing this is instead of this, we would just, I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. It's broken. Something's acting weird. Anyway, like, you know, we can build eco off of this while all that happens. So I prefer fusion scaling over APHIS scaling, but either one's fine. And maybe after you have 3 fusions or an APHIS, you can make a flagship and you're still going to be a major player if you wanted to go like a greed route. Like we can build a flagship now at 17 minutes. Yeah, this guy should probably be pulling back. Also, if you still have your comm and you can't push the island too well and they're not really giving you too much pressure, we can also take our comm over here and we can build a little camera or like a laser. If we have a scout, like we could take our little scout over here, see if they have a bunch of LLTs and stuff. But if, you know, even you can run up and do a camera, but you can just walk your comm over here, build a laser and deny geo. Yeah, I just wanted to like kind of show this. This is kind of the later part of the build, but I mean, this is, we got a wall build, we got a pit bull. This is going to be a hard island to take, even if they had salamanders, because the walls provide a little bit of time and the pit bull can work them down. And you can build stuff once you see a problem coming. Like if I see salamander, they're going to spam a ton of defenses on top of that. And yeah, just here we got this going where our eco is just cruising. Yeah, the flagship's being built. We're probably, if we're building a flagship, we're probably gonna hold off on the next Aphis and the other stuff. Probably not gonna go that heavy into the Aphis because we want to get this flagship done. We're at 166 metal per second. We're making a lot of metal here now. You can do this, and then when that one's done, we can spam it over here. I don't like these are over here. Might do that. Might do that.
You are wasting metal.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, that's kind of all I got for that. Hope you guys enjoy that tutorial and short. Good night, everyone. BetterStrat signing out.